and grab any prop-like items that you are able to, any books or any blocks that you're able to. And we'll get started in a comfortable seat. So you can cross your legs in front of you, or you can bring the soles of the feet together and the knees apart. Whatever makes sense to you. And before you get started, let's begin to just roll the shoulders all the way up and back, and then all the way up and forward, and then shift the head from side to side. Just create a little extra space at the back of the neck and in the sides of the neck. And then maybe even interlace the fingers behind your back, interlace the fingers and squeeze the shoulder blades together, press the knuckles down towards the floor, and then shift the head from side to side, adding a few stretches of the neck here. And then when you're ready, shake it off. Allow the hands to rest on your thighs, on your knees. Close your eyes if you haven't already, and let's begin to focus on our breath. So take a few deep breaths, inhaling in through the nose and exhaling out through the mouth. Deep breaths, inhaling in through the nose, exhaling out through the mouth. And side out, allow yourself to completely let go of any tension in the back of the mouth here. Allow yourself to let it go. Allow the tongue to float through the mouth. Sigh it out with an audible sigh or inaudible sigh. Make sure that you just are letting go of any heaviness surrounding the heart region. Wherever you might be feeling that resistance and that holding, let it go, soften it, completely release it. And as you're completely relaxing into the seat and you're completely allowing the body to feel more and more secure and more comfortable in this seat, then begin to bring the attention, the focus into the breath. Begin to observe the breath as it enters the body and as it expands the belly and then continues to expand the chest and spread through the collarbones, allowing you to stretch through the back of the spine and sit a little taller as you press the crown of the head up towards the sky and as you roll your shoulders right on top of your hips. And then as you exhale, try not to lose that length in the spine that you just created. Instead, as you soften through those different parts of the body, as you completely relax through those different parts, just find that same thing, relaxation, instead of softening and allowing the body to round. So keep the length in the spine with less rigid type of movement and find that softness with your exhale. And continue this breath, inhaling in through the nose, exhaling out through the mouth. Allow your sighs to be audible or inaudible. That's your choice, whatever feels natural. This week, I found myself really seeking that old version of normalcy, wanting to go out and see the people that I haven't seen for a while in person and have an in-person conversation, and just kind of wanting to escape my home when I used to want to come to my home for some peace and quiet. So I'm working with, again, going back into that adapting mode and figuring out how to keep practicing my intention of non-attachment. And I invite you to do the same with me. Maybe you're in a different stage. Maybe you are coming into terms with this new normal. Maybe you are coping better, and there are days that you are just feeling better, and today might be one of them. Maybe this doesn't really resonate with you at this moment, but find a way that it can translate into your own life, whether that is professionally, emotionally, mentally, psychologically, wherever it may be. How can you not detach yourself from what's happening, but how can you take a step back and not be so attached to what used to be, or what is, or what could be? I encourage you to practice that with me, even on the mat today, and continue that practice off the mat. To have no expectations, to not visualize how things will go or expect things to go a certain way, but instead just wait for what's to come and deal with it at the time with your breath, with your mindfulness at that one present moment when it does happen. So I invite you to take your palms in front of your heart, press the thumbs into the center of your chest, right into the sternum, and lift the sternum up. So lift through the crown of the head, sit a little taller, even if you were at your tallest point before, sit even taller and set your own intention for your practice today. Maybe it resonates with mine, maybe it doesn't. Maybe non-attachment is the one for you today. Maybe for the rest of the week, the rest of the month, maybe it isn't. It's okay. Sigh it out, and without opening up the eyes, just release the hands out in front of you, and let's allow the spine to round now as you're folding over your shins and folding over your feet, just allowing everything to fold and to completely let go. Bend into the elbows here a little bit and allow the crown of the head to fold towards the ground, and allow the forearms to rest on the floor if they're resting on the floor. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, fold a little deeper. And then slowly, let's begin to plant the hands and press the floor away, feeling that lengthening of the spine. And as you exhale, can you fold a little deeper and pressing the chest forward? Excellent. Very nice. And then let's begin to walk the hands towards us. And we're going to come into that seat where we're stacking again the shoulders right on top of the hips. Reach the hands up towards the sky. And as you exhale, you're going to take a side bend over to the right. So I'm mirroring you a little bit here. You're going to just press your right hand to the floor and take the left hand up and over. Ellen, allow that, there you go, excellent. Allow that elbow to bend and allow that right shoulder to rest away from the neck. So you're creating more space for the neck here as you're stretching through the side body. Very nice, everyone. Inhale back into center, and as you exhale, let's take it over to the opposite side. And we're going to do 2 more on each side here. And you just want to make sure that each time you come into your side bend, it's a little deeper than the last one. So inhale back into center, follow your own breath. You don't have to follow my cue. And exhale to side bend and see if you can reach over a little bit more or relax that bottom shoulder a little bit more. Come back to center. Fold over to the opposite side. You might notice that your sit bones kind of want to come off the floor. See if you can press your buttocks into the floor and then take your side bend a little deeper. Come back to center. Take it your last one over to the right side. Relax the shoulders, lengthen through both sides of the body, and then fold a little deeper. Come back to center, and last one over to the left side. Excellent. As you inhale, reach the hands up towards the sky, and let's take a twist over to the right. So you're planting your right fingertips behind you to stabilize you, to lengthen the spine. And then as you exhale, you twist a little bit more as you take that left hand to the outside of your knee. Inhale to lengthen, and as you exhale, twist a little bit more, and maybe even turn the head towards the back. The head and the neck being the last to turn. You want this twist to be in your entire torso first, and then in the neck. Excellent. Let's come back to center. You can reach the hands all the way up towards the sky, finding a little bit more of momentum here, and then you can twist over to the opposite side. Plant the left hand or the left fingertips behind you, prop up the spine to lengthen, to sit a little taller. First, you're creating space in the spine, and then you're using that space to twist a little deeper. Very nice. Let's come back to center. We're going to release the hands behind us. And as you release the hands behind us, your fingertips are going to be facing you. So you can just press the chest up towards the sky here and relax the head all the way back. Or you can even take it a little step further and finding a variation of, let's just say, bridge pose. You're going to lift the hips up and bring your knees or your shins towards the ground. And this is going to be more of a quad and even a hip flexor opener if you're able to lift your hips up off the floor. So Ellen, you're still, there you go. Excellent. Very nice. Excellent. No, I was looking at the wrong image. Very nice. Very nice. And let's come all the way back down, bring the seat down. And then let's cross the opposite leg in the front. So you're still staying in seated pose. You're just crossing the opposite leg in the front. You're planting the hands behind you, fingertips facing you, and then press the chest up towards the sky, lift the head up. And then if you did that option with me, lift the hips up towards the sky. But Ellen, press your knees and your shins towards the floor. So pressing them forward. So you're kind of reaching the hips up, but you're shifting the weight forward. So you can watch me if that makes sense. You're shifting forward. So you're pressing your knees forward into the floor. And then releasing the head back. So you're going to feel this in your quads and in your hips, in your hip flexors. Excellent. And then plant the hands in front of you, everyone, as you're coming back into your seat. And then we're going to roll over our shins and knees. This is something that I will promise to work with you again when we see each other in person. It makes more sense to see in person. We're going to come into hands and knees into all fours as you're rolling forward. Very nice. And then we're going to begin to take some organic movements of the spine here. So whatever feels natural. I already took you through some movements. What feels natural for you here as you're in your all fours? Maybe shifting from side to side, maybe shifting the hips back and then forward, rocking from your child's pose to your lazy up dog, or coming into child's pose and just stretching the feet as you have the toes curled under. Maybe lifting all the way up and back into your downward facing dog. Find whatever movements feel natural, organic to you and to your practice at this point in your practice. Whatever feels good, whatever feels yummy in your muscles and your joints, depending on how your day has been, how your week is going, and what's to come for the rest of the week or the weekend. And then I'll meet you in downward facing dog. Lift the hips up and back and find some organic movements there. Pedal the feet, press into one knee, press into the other as you're pressing opposite heels into the floor. Press the chest towards the thighs as you're lifting the tailbone up towards the sky. Relax the shoulders, allow the head to hang so the neck is nice and long. Excellent. And then let's shift forward into plank. Let's measure that down dog. Let's make sure that we're rolling shoulders right on top of wrists and hips to shoulder height. Engage your core here, fire it up a little bit, building up some heat. One more deep breath in, press the floor away. Excellent. And inhale as you prepare, as you exhale, press up and back, downward facing dog. Press those heels into the floor. Very nice. We're going to take the right foot up and back behind us. All 5 toes are pointing towards the ground. As you're coming into that one-legged down dog, that right hip will want to pop off, and see if you can keep squaring off the hips. Press the right foot all the way towards the back, lengthening through the back leg and the spine. And as you exhale, shift forward, hug the right knee in close into the nose, round the spine. Excellent. Inhale all the way up and back. 2 more times, exactly like this. Exhale to shift forward, round the spine, and hug that knee close into the nose. Very nice. Inhale all the way up and back. Press it back. And as you exhale, shift forward, hug it in, round the spine, and then plant the foot right in between the hands. Very nice. Plant the left hand to the ground. Take the right hand all the way up towards the sky. If it's too much for the back knee to be lifted here, feel free to drop the back knee to the floor. Otherwise, have it lifted and make sure that the back leg is fully engaging here and that you're hugging that right knee in towards the midline, but taking and breathing in the belly away from that right thigh. Very nice. Now let's release both hands to the floor and let's step it back quietly into your downward facing dog. Deep breath in to lengthen, and as you exhale, let it out. Press the heels into the floor. Excellent. Inhale to shift forward into your plank. And as you exhale, drop your right knee to the floor right below your right hip. So you want to walk it in a little bit to make sure that you're stabilized here and squared off. And then let's open up into your side plank. So your right knee is on the floor, right shoulder on the floor, right on top of the right wrist, and you're opening up into side plank. Stacking left hip on top of right, reaching the left fingertips up towards the sky. Left foot can be fully grounded here. If you feel stable enough, you can lift the left foot off the ground. Energize the left leg, flex the foot. Reach the left fingertips up towards the sky and then take a side bend. Reach the left hand up and over the side of the head, press the ribs up, as much as you can, side bend with your entire body here. And then we'll find plank at the center of the mat. So take your time to adjust here. Find your plank, both legs are straight back behind you. Drop the hips to shoulder height, inhale to prepare, and as you exhale, drop both knees to the floor. Ellen, so we're in a plank, yes, there you go. Drop both knees to the floor, hug your elbows into the ribs, bring chin and chest all the way down, slide forward into your baby cobra. Very nice. Let's hold baby cobra. Let's point the toes towards the back of the room. Press the tops of the feet into the mat. So try not to lift the legs off of the mat. Keep pressing the tops of the feet into the mat. Instead, lift your kneecaps and energize through the legs. And then see if you can lift your palms off of the mat. Keep the gaze down so the back of the neck is nice and long. And then peel your chest off of the mat as you're peeling your palms off of the mat. So the hands are not pressing into the ground. You're lifting, you're using your back muscles here, you're using your core, and you're making it work. And then you're lifting off of the mat. Excellent. Now plant the palms to the ground, curl the toes, lift up and back, downward facing dog. Inhaling through the nose, let it out through the mouth. Deep breath in, let it out. One more, inhale, exhale. As you inhale, left foot comes up and back behind you. All 5 toes are pointing towards the ground. Press that foot towards the back of the room so you're lengthening through that back leg and the entire spine. Very nice. Inhale. And as you exhale, shift forward, hug that left knee into the nose, round the spine. Inhale, up and back. As you exhale, shift forward, hug it in, round the spine. Inhale, up and back. As you exhale, shift forward, round the spine, and then plant the foot right in between the hands. And if it doesn't come there, you grab it with your hand and plant it there. Back knee is lifted unless you feel more comfortable with back knee. Drop to the ground. You ground the right hand and left hand comes up towards the sky for your twist. When you do this, that left knee will want to splay out to the side. So make sure you're hugging that left knee in towards the midline. And you're energizing that back leg. Can you press the back thigh up towards the sky? Find leverage here. Inhale to lengthen and use that length to take your twist a little deeper. You got this. Very nice. Let's plant the hands to the ground, framing the front foot. Quietly, using your core, take it back, downward facing dog. Inhale to shift forward into your plank. And as you exhale, drop your left knee to the ground, right below your left hip. So make sure that you're stacking hip over hip and shoulder over shoulder as you're opening up into your side plank. So right hand will come up towards the sky. Right hip is right on top of left. And right shoulders are right on top of left. Right foot is fully planted on the ground. When you feel stable enough, lift that right foot off the ground. Make sure you're energizing through that right leg. Every inch of our body in yoga is working every time we practice on our mat and even off the mat. Excellent. Feel that energy and then take that right hand up and over the side of the head. Really press the ribs up towards the sky, taking a side bend here. Really press even the left ribs into the right ribs and then find your plank at the center of your mat. Inhale to prepare, press the floor away so you're not collapsing into the shoulders. Excellent. Drop the knees to the floor. Hug your elbows into the ribs as you bring chin and chest all the way down. Slide forward into your baby cobra. Baby cobra is much harder than we think. Once again, you want to press the tops of the feet into the mat. Do not lift the feet. Energize the legs and make them work. It's much harder than we think. And then peel the chest off of the mat. And then lift the palms off of the mat. There's no pressing the mat away. There's just us doing the work to lift ourselves away from the mat. Keep the gaze down and ahead so the back of the neck is nice and long. One more deep breath in, and can you lift and lengthen a little longer? Plant the hands, curl the toes, lift all the way up and back, downward facing dog. Guys, inhale in through the nose and let it out with a sigh. Deep breath in, let it out with a sigh. Inhale, exhale it out. As you inhale, look between the hands. You can hop, you can step, you can take multiple steps. You can do whatever you like, reaching your Uttanasana forward fold and just fold here. Allow the feet to open up a little further apart from each other. And then bend the knees as you allow yourself to fold completely towards the thighs. Round the spine as much as possible. And allow your neck to feel nice and long as your head is hanging here and feeling heavy. Very nice. And then slowly, let's begin to bend the knees even more. Round the spine, slowly, slowly, come on up. Reach the fingertips all the way up towards the sky. Add a little bit of a back bend here. Lengthen in 2 different directions and then release the hands to heart center. Let's bring the feet closer to each other, hip distance apart, parallel to one another at the top of the mat. Inhale to reach the hands all the way up towards the sky. Lift and lengthen. And as you exhale, trace your midline right back down, forward fold. Inhale, halfway up, long spine. Exhale to fold. As you inhale, take your right foot back behind you for your low lunge. Energize with that back leg, lengthen through the spine and press the chest forward, really energizing through that back leg. Keep the hands grounded. Quietly lift that left foot off the ground using your core. Take it back, downward facing dog. Inhale to shift forward into your plank. And as you exhale, take it through your chaturanga this time, half or full, upper facing dog or baby cobra, and back to downward facing dog. Excellent. So for upper facing dog, we lift the knees and the thighs off of the mat. The only thing touching the mat is our palms and the tops of the feet. So let's try that one more time. As you inhale, shift forward into your plank, take it through your chaturanga, half or full. So drop the knees or not. And then lift up into your baby cobra or upper facing dog. Lift those thighs and those kneecaps off of the mat. Press the floor away, relax the shoulders, and then curl the toes and lift up and back, downward facing dog. Excellent. Inhale, the right foot comes in between the hands. Find your low lunge. Hands are grounded for low lunge. Very nice. Take a step forward, find your Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, halfway up, long spine. Hands can come to shins. Exhale to fold. Inhale, bend the knees, round the spine, bring the hands all the way up towards the sky. Lift and lengthen, adding a little bit of a back bend. We're just micro bending the knees so that we're protecting the low back. And then trace your midline right back down, forward fold into your Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway up, long spine, hands to shins. Exhale to fold. As you inhale, take your left foot back behind you for your low lunge. Really engage with the back leg, lengthen through the spine, press the chest forward. Very nice. Now plant the hands and quietly step that right foot back. Don't slide it across your mat. Now use your core to lift the foot off and take it back. Very nice. Inhale to shift forward into your plank. And as you exhale, take it through your chaturanga, half or full, your choice. Upper facing dog or baby cobra, lift those thighs and those kneecaps off of the mat in upper facing dog. Relax the shoulders, press the floor away, and then back to downward facing dog. Excellent. As you inhale, take the left foot up towards the front, in between the hands. Find your low lunge. Hands are planted. Step the right foot forward. Find your Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, halfway up, long spine. Hands to shins. Exhale to fold. Inhale, you can bend the knees, round the spine, bring the hands all the way up towards the sky. Lift and lengthen, adding a little bit of a back bend. And as you exhale, hands to heart center. Just take a moment here to close your eyes and really sink in with your breath. Notice your intention, notice your body, notice the quality of your breath. Deepen the breath so you can calm down the heartbeat and calm down the breath even. Take a deep breath in. Let it out with a sigh. As you inhale, reach the hands up towards the sky and bend into both knees to find your Utkatasana, chair pose. Big toe mounts can come to touch here and heels can be slightly apart, or you can just keep your feet separated. That's absolutely fine. This depends on the amount of balance you're able to find. But engage with your inner thighs here. Try not to let your knees touch. So have your knees separated. You're making your legs work instead. Keep reaching the fingertips up towards the sky and keep reaching the bum towards the back. So you're sitting a little lower, making those thighs work. Very nice. Bring the hands to heart center, send a prayer forward, and take your twist over to the right. So you're bringing your left elbow to the outside of that right knee. When you do that, you guys, the knees will want to touch. Can you separate the knees a little bit? And then see if that left knee is splaying out and forward. Can you press it back so it's aligned with the right? Excellent. Now let's come back to center and release to your Uttanasana forward fold. Interlace the fingers behind your back and allow your hands to come over your head, towards your head rather, not over the head. It may not come there, but as you're interlacing, you're just completely letting go. So Megumi, you can interlace your fingers behind your back and then release the hands away. There you go, excellent. Very nice, everyone. Let's release the hand hold. Let's swing the arms to frame the ears one more time. Sit back down to your Utkatasana chair pose. Excellent. Relax those shoulders, lengthen through the torso here. Try to keep those legs working. We're doing this on purpose to have the legs do the work. So separate the knees. Excellent. And then take the hands to heart center. Send the prayer forward. Take your twist over to the left. That right elbow comes to the outside of the knee. And make sure that that right knee is not splaying forward. You press it back so it's aligned with the left. Inhale to lengthen. Before you take your twist a little deeper, you always want to lengthen and then use that space that you created to take your twist a little deeper. Very nice. Let's come back to center and let's fold Uttanasana forward fold. This time you can just grab on opposite elbows or you can once again interlace the fingers, your choice. Take a deep breath in, side out. And then slowly, let's begin to find our Utkatasana chair pose one more time. You're gonna get tired of this one. Once we're done with this sequence, relax the shoulders, sit back down, excellent. We're gonna take the hands to heart center, send the prayer forward really quick. Take your twist over to the right. Now let's begin to shift the weight over to that right foot and then take the left foot back and stay with your twist, but in a lunge. So you're taking your left foot back and you're staying with your twist. Excellent, very nice. That's why I wanted those legs to be strong because that back leg needs to be extra strong here to keep you in a twist. Let's begin to unwind into high lunge. Take the fingertips up towards the sky. Keep that back leg nice and strong, very nice. And let's open up warrior two. So the back foot is parallel to the back of the mat. The front knee is stacking right on top of the front ankle. So make sure, Megan, press the knee, the right knee towards your middle toes. There you go, excellent. So it's not falling and not collapsing inwards, but you're making those inner thighs work here. Let's reverse the front palm, everyone, and reverse the warrior towards the back leg. Keep bending into the front knee right on top of that front ankle. It will want to shift forward, but make sure you keep it in check. Let's come back into warrior two, and let's find extended side angle, front forearm to front thigh, and reach the left fingertips up towards the sky or towards the front, wherever you're reaching towards. Excellent. Can you turn your torso towards the side of the room that you're facing? So you're creating extra space for the right ribs here. Excellent. Inhale back into center. We're going to begin to straighten out the front leg. We're going to come into our triangle pose here, but I want you to micro bend the front knee a little bit so you're creating a little pocket of space in behind that knee. Then you're going to internally rotate this back hand, the left hand, and take it behind you into your right hip crease. So we're doing this with a half bind. Then shift the hips back, reach forward with your right fingertips as much as you can. Keep reaching, creating space for your right ribs. And then drop the right hand to your shin, to your block, to your ankle, wherever it may be. Try not to reach for the floor if you cannot reach the floor because you're eliminating that space for your right side. So make sure that you're still stacking that left shoulder on top of right as you're creating more space for both sides of the body. Inhale here. Exhale to twist a little bit more, everyone. Very nice. Now use your core as you are to come all the way back up to standing. So press the feet, energize the feet, and come all the way back up. Unwind the hands, bend into the front knee, find your warrior two. Inhale to prepare, and as you exhale, cartwheel the hands to the floor to frame your front foot. Quietly take it back into your downward facing dog. Stay in your down dog, take it through your vinyasa, or come into child's pose for some rest, your choice. Stay with your breath. Notice how your body is reacting to your practice today. Maybe it's not what you expected, and this is the point where we need to not attach ourselves to an expected solution or result or what we had in mind. Take a deep breath in. Let it out with a sigh. One more deep breath in. Exhale it out. I'll meet you back in downward facing dog. With your next inhale, take the right foot up and back behind you. All 5 toes are pointing towards the ground, so really energize through that back leg, even though it's lifted. Don't let it just hang there. Press it towards the back of the room. Round the spine, shift forward, hug that right knee in, and then plant the foot right in between the hands. Very nice. Let's pivot the back foot up and into a 45-degree angle, and let's come all the way up into a warrior one. Excellent. Let's open up through the shoulders here. From warrior one, we're going to come into eagle arms. So as you take the hands out to a T, your right foot is forward, right arm will come under, left arm on top, wrap around into eagle arms. If this is too much, feel free to grab on opposite shoulders as you're stacking elbow on top of elbow. And then lift the elbows to shoulder height so you feel that opening in the upper back. And then take the forearms away from your face. Now, as you inhale, reach the fingertips up and back as you add a little back bend. And then as you exhale, round the spine. We're not coming all the way down just like we did last week, but we're just rounding the spine and folding here as you're reaching your fingertips towards the floor, Inhale up and back. As you exhale, round the spine, you're bringing your elbows to your navel or to your chest rather, and you're reaching your fingertips towards the floor. One more time, inhale all the way up and back. And as you exhale, you round. Just a little cat and cow here, basically. Very nice. Now let's begin to unwind the hands. Reach all the way back up into your warrior one and release the hands to your hips. Let's straighten out the front leg and pivot the back foot in a little bit to close your stance. So you're shortening your stance just to make this a little more feasible. And you want to make sure that you're bringing your feet closer to the edges of the mat so that your hips are squared off with the front. Unless you're able to do that where you are, you want to make sure you widen your stance a little bit. Now use any props you might have or books that you might have. We're going to come into pyramid, lengthen the spine, and as you exhale, come halfway down. As you inhale, we're going to come all the way back up. So we're going to trace the midline with our breath here. Inhale, lengthen at the spine, and as you exhale, come halfway down. One more, everyone. Inhale to lengthen all the way up, stacking shoulders right on top of hips. Exhale to come all the way down. Keep those legs and those feet energized. Very nice. Keep the hands where they are for now, tracking that right hip back, that left hip down, pressing your chest forward, sticking your bum and tailbone out and back. And then you can release the hands to your props, to your books, keeping the hips as they are, and not rounding the upper back just to get to the floor, but creating that length in the spine. So that's why props here are good. And if we don't have props, whatever makeshift props we can make, right? Keep pressing the chest forward. Most of you are facing me, or rather facing forward towards your mat. So press your chest towards that side, towards that front, wherever the front is. That's nice. Excellent. Micro bend the front knee if you need to. One more deep breath, everyone. Let it out through the mouth. Very nice. Now slowly begin to take the hands back into the hips. Press the feet into the ground, energize through the legs, and come all the way back up. Very nice. Excellent. We're going to keep that the right hand rather, where it is. We're going to take the left hand up towards the sky. Inhale to lengthen. And as you exhale, come halfway down. And as you're coming halfway down, you're going to cross over towards your right side. So you're going to bring that left hand to the front of your right foot or to the outside of your right foot, kind of bringing into a twist. Now, everyone, we can stay here, and that's absolutely fine. You're just turning your right elbow up towards the sky as your right shoulder is coming up towards the sky. You can even take your right hand on your sacrum and just stabilize your sacrum here. Or if you feel comfortable, you can take that right hand and extend it up towards the sky. Very nice. Some say that our sacrum needs to be straight here, but it's quite impossible in such a deep twist for our sacrum to be straight. So allow the sacrum to Don't worry about your sacrum basically, but worry more about your twist. Remember, the twist comes from the bottom of the spine all the way up to the crown of the head, and the neck is last to join our twist. Take one more deep breath, everyone. What is that back leg doing? Is it still energizing? And then to come out of it, just release back into your pyramid and back into your forward fold. Forward. Excellent. Notice how your pyramid feels now after that deep twist. Really, you can release your hands to the floor. You can release your hands to props, wherever you are able to reach here. And from here, you guys, you're just going to bend into the right knee and just step the left foot forward, finding your Uttanasana forward fold. And feel free to open up the feet mat distance apart here. Bend the knees, round the spine, hold on opposite elbow, relax the shoulders, allow the head to hang. Excellent. Let's bring the feet to toe heel to touch once again, or to be just slightly apart, but at least the heels are apart and the knees are apart. Swing the arms to frame the ears, and let's sit back down for our Utkatasana chair pose. Separate those knees, make those legs work, relax the shoulders, take the hands to heart center, send the prayer forward. Let's take a twist over to the left. Very nice. We're going to begin to shift the weight over to that left foot, taking the right foot back, finding your twisted lunge here. Stay with your twist. You're just coming into a lunge. So use those legs to stabilize you and keep you balanced. Very nice. And then let's begin to unwind. Reach the fingertips up towards the sky. Find your high lunge, stacking shoulders right on top of hips. Keep that back leg activated. And then let's open up warrior two. Excellent. Can we trace the front knee right on top of the front ankle? And feel free to open your stance here, especially if you're tall, especially if you have that ability. But press that front knee, that left knee, right on top of the ankle or the middle toes of your foot instead of your big toe. Reverse the front palm, reverse your warrior towards the back. Keep bending into the front knee, because that front knee will want to just kind of chill when we're doing this. Excellent. Nice adjustment, Megan. Very nice. Inhale back into center, and as you exhale, front forearm to front thigh, reach the right fingertips towards the front. Up and over the side of the head, really stretching out through that right side body. And here's another twist here. Can you turn your torso towards the side of the wall you're facing so that you're equal through both sides of the ribs, top and bottom? And let's come back into center, back into your warrior two. Let's begin to straighten the front leg, creating a little pocket of space behind that front knee. Then internally rotate your right arm, bring your right hand behind you into your left hip crease, lengthen the spine as much as you can, shift the hips towards the back, reach forward your left fingertips as much as you can, keep reaching, keep reaching, keep reaching, and then come down to your prop, your shin, your ankle, even your thigh if you have to, as long as it takes, whatever it takes, to not lose that space on the left side of the ribs. Don't compromise the space that we want to create in our bodies just to come closer to the floor. The floor is not so attractive, trust me. I have 2 pets. Take a deep breath in, everyone, and as you exhale, turn the torso a little bit more towards that side. Very nice. Now, as you are, press the feet into the ground, energize through the core, and come all the way back up. And then you can find your warrior two as you're coming all the way up. Very nice. Excellent. Inhale to prepare, and as you exhale, cartwheel the hands to the floor, frame your front foot, find your low lunge, quietly step it back into your downward facing dog. You can stay in your down dog, you can come into child's pose, you can find your vinyasa if you like, your variation of vinyasa. Remember, for that up dog, we're lifting our thighs and our kneecaps off of the mat. And then lift up and back, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in, let it out. Inhale, exhale. As you inhale, that left foot comes up and back behind you. All 5 toes are pointing towards the ground. Reach towards the back, lengthening the back leg and the spine here. And then shift forward, round the spine, hug that left knee in, and then plant the foot right in between the hands. You can always press it there with your hand if you like. And then pivot the back foot up and into a 45-degree angle. Find your warrior one. Make sure your hips are squared off. Stacking shoulders right on top of hips. Keep bending to the front knee. Keep that back leg energized. Excellent. So left leg is forward. Take the hands out to a T. Left hand comes in front of you and below, and then right hand wraps around on the top. Now, if this is too much, you can always grab on opposite shoulders instead. We want to lift the elbows wherever you are. Lift the elbows to shoulder height to feel that stretch in the upper back, and take the forearms away from the face. Reach the fingertips up and back, and as you exhale, just hug the elbows into the chest, round the spine, and point your fingertips towards the floor. Inhale all the way up and back. Exhale to round and fold. One more time. Inhale all the way up and back. Exhale to round and fold. This was our last one. And then begin to unwind, finding your warrior one. Reaching the fingertips up towards the sky. Release the hands to your hips. Straighten out the front leg and pivot the back foot in a little bit to close your stance. We're prepping for pyramid. So pyramid, we want our hips to be facing forward. Those little hip points at the front of our hips here want to be facing forward. So open up your stance a little bit. Maybe bring the feet a little closer to the edges of the mat. Inhale to lengthen, and as you exhale, come halfway down. Inhale to come all the way back up. You're training the legs to be strong here, and you're making sure that the back heel is fully grounded as you come halfway down. Inhale to come all the way back up. As you exhale, can you micro bend the front knee and press the chest forward as you come halfway down, and then stay with your pyramid, tracking that left hip back, right hip down, pressing the chest forward, tilting the tailbone back, and then releasing the hands wherever you're able to release them, but not losing that length in the spine, not compromising the spine for the floor. Deep breaths here. Keep that back leg energizing and soften the front knee. Try not to lock into the front knee. Keep tilting your tailbone towards the back, pressing your chest forward towards the front of your mat. One more deep breath in and soften wherever you are. Soften the grip and those expectations and that attachment. What should be, could be, is not, and it's something different, and that's okay. Excellent. Press into the feet, energize through the legs, take the hands to the hips, and then slowly, slowly coming all the way up. Excellent. So we're keeping you are with the left foot forward, right? You're keeping the left hand as is, right hand comes all the way up towards the sky. Very nice. Inhale to reach and lengthen, and then reach towards the front, reach towards me. Some of you are facing me as if you want to reach through the screen. And then as you're coming halfway down, cross over. Either place the hand in front of your foot or to the outside of the foot, finding a deeper twist. For now, just take the left hand on your hip and point the elbow up as you're guiding the shoulder up towards the sky, or maybe taking the hand to the back of the sacrum. And if it's accessible to you, then you can extend your arm all the way up towards the sky. If you're finding yourself wobbly, shorten your stance and make sure the legs are working. The legs are your base here, so they need to be working as much as your upper body is working. This twist is coming from the sacrum all the way up to the crown of the head, and the neck being last to join, if it is to join. One more deep breath, everyone, and then slowly begin to release into your pyramid. So you're just folding forward over that straight leg. Notice if your pyramid feels any different here. You can relax the hands to the floor. Very nice. And then you can walk the back foot forward, finding your Uttanasana forward fold. You can open up the feet a little wider here, way wider, mat distance apart. That's absolutely fine. You can make sure that you are grabbing on opposite elbow or interlacing the fingers behind your back. You can grab the back of the head even and allow that interlacing the fingers behind your head basically and grabbing your neck to elongate your neck and just pull your head down. Soften the knees here, of course, and allow your torso to rest onto your thighs. Very nice. Excellent. And then you can release the hand hold and bend the knees a little bit more, and then slowly, slowly come on up, vertebra by vertebra, finding your standing pose. We didn't really do much of a balance pose today, and that's on purpose. I wanted to work on those legs and that strengthening. But we're going to do a balance pose today with both feet on the ground, believe it or not. So as you are in your Tadasana, you're going to come up into your tippy toes. Of course, you can't see me because my feet are cut off from the screen. I can go further back, and you're just going to come up to your tippy toes and find that balance as you're squeezing in your inner thighs. You're squeezing. You might be wobbly here, but you want to squeeze through your legs. Take your hands to heart center and then begin to bend the knees. Keep being at your tippy toes. You're going to basically bring your bum all the way down to your heels. So slow movements here. Stay with your breath. Keep breathing, keep breathing. And then see if you can keep your knees together, but then plant the feet to the ground. So you might have to shift your chest forward a little bit and engage your core, and then bring your sit bones all the way to the ground. Excellent. And then extend your legs forward. So it takes a little bit of an effort, a little bit of concentration on the breath. Very nice. And as you take your feet forward, just windshield wipe the feet from side to side a little bit here. Very nice. We're going to come into Paschimottanasana. So keep your feet grounded but flexed. Toes are up towards the sky. Stacking your shoulders right on top of your hips. Feel free to sit on the edge of your blanket just to tilt the pelvis forward to find a little bit more leverage. Reach the hands all the way up towards the sky. Lift and lengthen. And as you exhale, fold forward and reach for your shins, your ankles, your feet, your toes, whatever you may reach for. But you want to keep that length in the spine. Try not to round the spine just to get closer to those toes. It's okay if today is not the day. Very nice. Keep pressing your chest forward and keep looking ahead. Where you're looking is where you're going to go. So make sure you're not looking down, but just instead look ahead, press ahead. One more deep breath in. Exhale to fold, but rather keep finding that length in the spine. Excellent. And then slowly let's begin to release. Now we're going to bring the soles of the feet together. We're going to find the yin-like pose. After all those twists today, we're just going to relax the spine and equalize and balance the spine. So we're going to bring the soles of the feet together, open up the knees apart, and bring the feet a little further away from your groin. So you don't want your triangle to be so tight. You want more of a diamond shape. And then you're going to fold. And you're going to fold by holding on to your ankles and just relaxing your crown of your head towards your feet. If you want to take this a little deeper, you're going to take your forearms underneath your shins, underneath your calves, turning your palms facing up towards the sky. So the forearms may touch the floor here, and then you're rounding so much that your crown of your head is coming towards the ground. So again, you're folding forward, but you're allowing gravity here to help you to pull you down towards the floor. So your choice if you want to add that second variation of forearms underneath the calves or not. So the yin version here is we're just letting go, right? We're again practicing that notion of non-attachment. This is not an active pose. This is a more cooling pose where we're working in the connective tissue of the body and really stretching and allowing gravity to do its work and the muscles to open up very slowly at their own pace without us doing much of the work. So relax the shoulders, relax the back of the mouth, the jaw. It's okay if we're not activating the core here or activating the legs or building up a sweat. It's okay to let go of that expectation sometimes and just practice this state of being. Close your eyes if you haven't. Allow the breath to flow naturally. There's no need to really observe the breath here. Relax the shoulders, allow them to be heavy. Have you noticed any change in the pose? Have you been able to let go further and get a little closer to the feet or a little closer to the ground, or maybe even touch the feet. Just notice and don't judge it if you haven't seen a difference. That most likely will mean that you're not letting go. So you need to just soften, release. We're just taking one more deep breath here. Let it out through the mouth. To come out of it, let's plant the palms to the ground. You can unwind one hand, one arm under and the other, and we're going to come out of it. Roll the shoulders back. Very nice. Coming up to a seat. Excellent. We're going to come into a seated figure four. And for those of you that don't prefer the seated figure four today, you can come to a reclining figure four. After this, we're coming into reclining anyway. So your choice, yogi's choice, if you want to do it seated or reclining. But as you are, the right foot stands planted on the ground. You're externally rotating the left knee out, and you're planting the left ankle right on top of the thigh. Now, the seated is a little bit more difficult, I guess, because you want to lengthen the spine and press the chest towards your shin. And then you have a little bit more leverage because the more you hug that bottom foot closer to you, the more of a stretch you're going to feel on that right side, on the left side, sorry. I'm doing the right side, so I got confused. So you want to press the chest forward, you want to lengthen through the spine. So there's a lot more work here for you to do. And you want to turn that left knee away so you're feeling that hip stretch. Relax the shoulders wherever you are. 3 more deep breaths. And then you can even hug everything in as you're standing nice and tall like I'm doing, if that's accessible to you and if you're feeling extra flexible today. Last breath in. Let it out. And then slowly we're going to begin to release. And we're going to just, before we come over to the opposite side, we're going to open up the feet mat distance apart. And we're just going to rock the knees from side to side, bringing the knee, the inside knee, all the way towards the ground. So you're going to feel this on the outside of your hip. And then we're going to come over to the opposite side. So left foot is grounded, right knee externally rotates. You're bringing your right ankle on top of your left thigh. And then hands come behind you or to your side. But as they come to the side, you want to use those arms to press into the floor and prop yourself up, rolling your shoulders right on top of your hips, sitting nice and tall. And then again, you're walking that bottom foot closer to you to intensify your stretch, if you like. And the more you press your chest towards your shin, the more you're going to feel this. Now, on my left, I'm doing my left side, even though you guys are doing your right. My left side is a little tighter always. So I might stay here a little longer for myself, but I'm also going to maybe not do that version that I did before, hug my knees in, because I'm starting to lose my balance a little bit because of that tightness. So I'm just going to give it a little bit more time to open. That's all it needs, a little extra time. 2 more deep breaths. Relax your shoulders wherever you are. Deep breath in. Sigh it out. And I already feel less tension there in that hip. I hope you do the same. And then we're going to take the feet out mat distance apart and then just windshield wipe the knees from side to side to open up to the outer side of the hips. Excellent. Very nice. And we're going to come all the way down to our backs. Grab any props that you might want to use when you're coming to your backs. I'm going to offer you an option for a back bend here as you're coming down to the floor. You can come for an active bridge. If you have a block or a couple books, you can come for supported bridge. But as you're prepping up for your bridge, you want to make sure you walk your feet in so that they're right below your knees, and you want to make sure that they're hip distance apart. So if you have a book or a block, maybe place it in between your thighs, squeezing that block in. So you're making sure that you are really energizing through those legs again. And then press the hips up towards the sky. If you want to add the arms into this, then you can interlace the fingers, squeezing one shoulder, like placing one shoulder underneath you and then another shoulder underneath you as you're squeezing the shoulder blades together and pressing the knuckles into the floor to lift the hips up even more. If you're doing the active version with me, the hips will want to fall towards the ground it's as if they're being pulled towards the ground as they're starting to get a little tired. So squeeze through those glutes, squeeze through the pelvic floor muscles, use that leverage to, as you exhale, to press the hips up towards the sky and press the feet into the ground, energizing through the legs. If you're still with me, we're going to do 2 more deep breaths in the active bridge. And as you're finishing up with your second exhale, then slowly, slowly, vertebra by vertebra, we're going to come all the way down, untucking one shoulder and untucking the other. If you are in your supported bridge, feel free to stay for a little longer. If you are in your active bridge, you can come down and hug the knees in to give yourself a little break and massage the lower spine, the lower back, the sacrum. For those of you that were in your active bridge, feel free to come to a second active bridge or a second back bend. Perhaps that back bend looks a little different. Perhaps it's supportive or it's fish pose, a little bit different for the throat, or it's without the block, or it looks a little different. Whatever feels different for you. If you want to even fire it up even more, for those of you in the active bridge, you can even lift one foot or one leg up off the floor, press it up towards the sky. This is going to make the hips fall towards the ground. See if you can press that right foot up towards the sky and press the hips up. You can release that to the ground and then take it over to the opposite side. Excellent. 2 more deep breaths wherever you are. This time we're all going to come to the ground after that second exhale, that second breath ends. Hug the knees into the chest, roll from side to side. Create circles with the knees to relax through the spine, the sacrum here. Feel free to find happy baby. Round the spine as much as you can and massage it as much as you can, especially after that back bend. And for your happy baby, please, please shift from side to side. Straighten out one leg, straighten out the other. Stretch it out through the hips and through the back of the legs as much as you can and the inner thighs. And then as you are, release out into a star position, completely releasing the legs away from each other, the hands away from each other, away from the body, palms facing up, feet and knees spilling away from each other. Close your eyes if you haven't. Release the feet to the ground and completely let go. Surrender into the mat for Shavasana. Begin to deepen your breath. Begin to awaken the body by wiggling fingers and toes. You can roll wrists and ankles. Roll the head from side to side, stretch the hands behind you, stretch the feet away from you. And then hug the knees into the chest. Give yourself a nice tight squeeze. Well-deserved hug here. Roll over to your right or your left side, whichever feels more natural to you, whatever feels more organic. Take a moment to reconnect to your breath, your body, your intention if you set one at the beginning. Notice how that notion of non-attachment is working for you, or if at all working. Notice what adjustments you can make going forward. What teachings from on the mat you can take for off the mat world. And then as lazily as you can, press the palms into the ground, slowly coming up into a comfortable seat. Keep your eyes closed and take the palms in front of your heart. Press the thumbs into the center of your chest. Lift that sternum part up so you're lengthening once again. Take a deep breath in through the nose, let it out through the mouth. I'm going to end today with a practice of Om, so please feel free to join me if you like. Take a deep breath in. Thank you all so very much for sharing your practice with me today. Namaste.